Today's episode of The Read Pile is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
I'm Elle, and you get to see me with no makeup.
And I am the sus man, Rick Sussman, and you get to see me with new tips on my awesome mohawk. And you're watching The Read Pile.
It's the week of November 12th, and here's some comic book news you can use.
Very quick, very small news week for us. There was a lot of other stuff going on, but we saw something in the headlines that we thought was kind of interesting. Not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but certainly worth repeating and worth looking into. Supergirl had its debut, the TV series. The first week, it did phenomenal. People were just going nuts for it. And then in the second week, there was a significant drop-off in terms of ratings.
Yep.
I have to believe that it has a lot to do with maybe it went up against Monday Night Football, maybe the novelty wore off, maybe people were just tuning in to see it. But being that I go to our local comic shop a lot, there's a lot of people really excited for the show. What is your idea on why the drop-off? What happened?
I don't know. I think it sucks.
The show is not for her.
I didn't like it before it even aired. Just the whole idea of it, to me, it's not Supergirl. I know they're trying to direct towards a new audience, and it's not even on the same station as the other DC shows, so it's just not going to have the same vibe.
DC has 3 channels now,
well,
essentially.
Well, good for them. At least they're
they got
covering
Fox
more space, I guess. But it's but that's the idea. It's gonna have a different vibe. I mean, Constantine is on a different station.
Well, it's not anymore. It's gone.
It was. and that had a totally different feel. And most people didn't even know it was even on when it was on.
Well, which is true. They put it on a really terrible time slot. Yeah. Supergirl got a really good time slot. It's the lead into Supergirl is actually The Big Bang Theory.
Well, I mean, a lot of people that are writing about how the rates went down. They're like, oh no, it's because it's on the same time as like all the football games. And,
I don't think there's a lot of bleed over between those two products. I don't think anybody is going to...
Well, they're trying to use it as the excuse. No, it's still a good show. It's because, it's football season. Oh, well, I guess you're just going to do terrible for a while then, because there's a lot more games coming.
I believe the show is settling into a much more realistic viewership. I don't necessarily think it's going to do Walking Dead numbers, but nothing does. But I think it is a good show. I enjoyed the pilot. I thought it was fun. I didn't say it was my favorite thing in the world, but I liked the idea of it. It is interesting to watch. We'll keep keeping our eyes on this, because well, the ratings, I mean. Because if Supergirl is sustainable, that's actually big news for comic book fans.
Yeah.
And if it fails, that's kind of an interesting take, too. So, it's just something to look forward to. Or something to look into, I should say.
I guess.
You ready to review some books?
I am.
We got big stuff.
Time for comic book reviews. First up, Bombshells. So we're on issue 4. I said I would give it one more issue, and I did. Okay, so let me give you the rundown. And maybe some spoilers, but I really don't care anymore on this book. So here you go. So Starfire and Supergirl pretty much are finding out that they are fighting a fight that they did not realize. They basically got set up. They're fighting some peoples that they did not realize they were fighting. And then you have Harley. I think that's what really got me, is the whole Harley character. She doesn't even really fit in the storyline. I don't understand. I don't know if they just threw her in there because she had boobies. I don't know. I mean, she's a DC female and she's got boobies, so they're like, let's bombshell her and let's throw her in there. She's right there. There you go. Everybody likes her. She's popular now. Everybody knows her. I don't know. It just... That's what it felt like. Because, yes, she's there, and I don't see, I'm sure there's going to be some way where she kind of fits in. I don't know. That or all the story, or her story will stay separate from everybody else's, like everybody else's has so far. I think somewhere in my head, I was telling myself, oh, they're going to merge together and be like this huge team at some point. It hasn't even come close to that yet. And it's kind of annoying. It feels drawn out. I know it's only issue 4, and you have so many different characters that, you know, if you are bringing them together, if you're just, it's gonna happen, you know, a little bit longer, and I'm sure you don't want your series to end immediately. I kind of do, but it's just annoying, and the fact that Harley's character, how it developed and how it jumped from, oh, she's a doctor, and then bam, something made her snap, and now she's Harley Quinn. And it was just the way that her quick changeover was so out of character and just ridiculous, and it didn't fit well with me. I'm sorry. I've been reading Harley's series, and that character's good. This one sucks. I'm gonna stop ranting. I'm done with this book. It's not for me. It's nice artwork though. Maybe I'll get some Bombshell Booby posters to put on the wall. We got the puzzle. That was nice. But the stories is just, I don't know. I can't do it anymore. Moving on. Starfire. Speaking of those writers and artists, and yeah, they're the ones that do Harley right. But Starfire, they do her right too. So, okay. So Soul's Maria, we kind of get a little bit of a story about, you know, what had happened to her. So we're starting to get some little tidbits about that. So that's interesting. And well, okay. There's this guy. He's a bounty hunter. He's being sent to come get Starfire. And well, this issue, he's here. This part is a little disappointing. I will tell you this. The fight doesn't last long. For the build-up, I thought it would last a little bit longer. But here's the thing. I don't think it's done. Like, done. So I'm not completely disappointed. I think it's a to be continued. So that's okay. But the last page. Oh my. The last page. So there will be a little bit of a crossover, I believe. And who it's with? Mr. Hunk Pants? Oh yeah. Hunky Pants McGee. Fantastic. I can't wait. But pick of the week. Batman. Duh. Okay. So, oh, Batman. Alright. So here's the thing. This is what's going on. Okay. So this Jerry chick, she's got some stuff going on in the background. There's something going on with her. We already found this out in the last issue. She's got some secrets. She might be losing it. She's wanting to do some just extreme things with Batman for Gotham and beyond. And even Gordon's like, yo, you need to stop. You need to kind of calm down. You need to think about this. I don't know if you've thought this through. But he is determined to make sure that Batman is going to work. He wants it to work. He wants it to work in the right way because he worked with the real Batman. He knows what the city needs. He knows what Gotham needs. But he wants to do it in that different way that they have, the option that he has to do it. And unfortunately, it seems like he's not going to get that way. And, well, he gets the opportunity in this issue to at least, you know, his opportunity is that he's got to get Mr. Bloom. Mr. Bloom has just terrorized Gotham, and this is his time. This is what he needs to do, and to prove to Gotham, hey, Batman is good for the city. You know, the way I want to do it. This is gonna work. This is the right way. We can do it. And unfortunately, it looks like Mr. Bloom actually has a lot of strength in Gotham, and it seems like maybe he's got a little more power than we know. So it's going to be a little insane to figure out later on. And in the meantime, we will see what Rick has to say.
Oh, thank you, Elle. Your reviews are always appreciated. I do not have a lot to say about my books this week, but there is for good reason. I do have 4 of them, including a pick of the week, which I might have just spoiled, but whatever. Let's begin. We have Drifter, number 9, fresh off of a issue featuring our words. We have Ivan and Nick doing their awesome Ivan and Nick thing. Unfortunately, there is a negative. Drifter, much like a lot of the other Image books, is going on hiatus until April of 2016. I get that, I understand it, I am just massively disappointed. Like, all of my favorite books just up and go on hiatus, and I get it. I understand why. It's to keep the art fresh and to keep the writing going, and I'm sure Nick and Ivan have other projects they need to work on as well. I get all of that, but personally I get so disappointed when I see that we'll return X number of days, Y number of days. It makes me sad. In a perfect world, obviously, I'd love to read this every month, but I get it. I'm just a little disappointed by it. Moving on. Oh, well, I guess a quick review of the book. Really, really earth-shattering ending to this particular arc. Can't say much more than that or I'll give away too much, but we are finally starting to learn the idea of what the book initially started out as. We're going all the way back to the beginning, which I actually think is kind of cool. I'm just sad that I'm going to have to wait like 5 months to see the next chapter. These things happen. Let's move on. Wicked and Divine. This is issue 16. This continues the arc where we're learning a lot about the gods and goddesses and who they were originally or what they were originally, things like that. We're learning about the Morrigan and a lot of interesting stuff going on with her and Bahamut and how they are very interconnected. A story of teenage love gone awry, a story of nihilism and the desire to live in this gothic lifestyle and how sometimes those wishes do come true in the worst conceivable way. If you're not reading Wicked and Divine at this point, I don't know what else to tell you other than you should go read Wicked and Divine. It's just a very well put together story. Speaking of well put together stories, but on a completely separate set of circumstances. Oh, by the way, a quick side story. Wicked and Divine had a really funny piece about painting miniatures, which I thought was really hilarious since I know there's a lot of miniature gaming that goes on at the Gillen House, and I just thought that was adorable. Let's move on to something fun, though. The Grumpy Cat Adventures, The Misadventures of Grumpy Cat and Pokey Issue 2. Do you like comic books that are just fun and silly? Do you like Grumpy Cat? Because odds are you're going to like this comic. This is actually kind of impressive. The first issue, I didn't really know what to make of this series. I wasn't really sure if I was going to even enjoy it, if I was just going to buy it for the novelty. I actually really liked this second issue. There's a lot of very fun short stories in it. The art styles change a lot from issue to issue, and they're actually a lot of fun. I really like them. I don't know if it's because I just needed a pick-me-up this week, or if it's because sometimes I just like to be reminded that comics don't always have to be any one set diameter. They can be anything. But man, it just really tickled me this week to read Grumpy Cat and Pokey stories. And even though I know it's a 3-issue mini, I'm really enjoying it. But it's time for our pick of the week. So let's get the graphics spun up there. That should be right here. I picked this book up specifically because a buddy of mine said, just check it out. I didn't think it was going to be that good, by the title of it, I really couldn't help myself. Because my pick of the week is Jason Aaron's newest issue, The Goddamned. It's really nice. Jason Aaron, who you might know is the writer of Southern Bastards, along with a lot of other really great books. He does a lot of really good stuff. But The Goddamned was his first book that I've read on a lark in a very long time. It is the story of Cain, as in Cain and Abel, a man who simply cannot die. He is cursed to walk the earth. And we are 1600 years after Eden. Cain is still amongst the living, and he is damned by God. He is God damned, very literally. He cannot die. And as is the want of almost all sentient beings to live forever, sometimes that is more of a curse than anything else could ever hope to be. The first issue is blood, guts, murder, death, everything. It is dirty. It is filthy. You almost feel dirty reading it because of the amount of filth that the people that Cain runs into are actually living in. And then something very interesting happens at the end. You sort of see that this is going to be a take on biblical times, not unlike Darren Aronofsky's Noah. And that I can sort of get into. But what makes this my pick of the week more than anything is the splash pages that are in it. These big, giant pages of just beautiful art and almost no words. And it took my breath away. I actually had to read the book twice. I enjoyed it so much. I never intended it to be on my read pile, and it ends up being my pick of the week. That's pretty cool. For you, our loyal followers of The Read Pile, we have an awesome offer from Audible.com. Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their awesome service. You can download some really great books like The Hobbit, the unabridged version from Tolkien. You can download Divergent, Lean In, lots of great stuff to check out. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Again, that's audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia for your free audiobook.
That's this week for The Read Pile.
And we'd like to thank you, our loyal followers and viewers and things like that. We had a couple of record views in the last couple of months.
No way. I never look into this.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, we're now over 60 subscribers on our YouTube page. We have 60 plus people who frequently, they religiously, I guess, or subscriptionally check in on us and for our comic book reviews. So that's pretty cool. I wanted to take a moment to thank all of our viewers and say we are very happy to have you. We know the shows have been a little late the last couple of weeks, but we're probably going to start leaning more towards a Thursday, Friday taping, just because that's sort of how things are going right now. Life gets in the way of doing a fun podcast from time to time.
That's true.
So I guess that's it. There, not Rumpelstiltskin. What is that?
I don't know. I'm still getting over a cold.
What's the girl with the pigtails? Oh, I used to know this. Oh, Punky. Oh, Punky.
She had brown hair.
Close enough. Swiss, it's a big cat that you're friends with. I'm happy that you're happy. If you look close, he's staring right into your soul. Dun dun dun!